Welcome to the F-350 installation video. First, let's go ahead and start with the front driver's seat back. Grab that piece, now open up your accessory kit and take out 2 of the chucks. From there, we're going to insert them into the elastics. First, insert into the slit on the top, and then insert into the slit on the bottom, and then make sure you have it nice and straightened out. Next, we're going to grab the second, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to insert into the slit, and we're going to insert to the bottom slit, and then make sure everything's nice and straightened out. Give it a good stretch and you're good to go. Now we're going to take the seat cover and we're going to slide it on top of the driver's seat. Make sure it gets nice and snug in there. And also make sure you go and check the back and make sure it's nice and snug on there. Good. Now let's go into the bottom seat cover. We're going to do the same thing with the check. Insert through the top slit, insert through the bottom slit, and make sure it's on there nice and snug. Now we're going to do the same for the other side. Insert the top and bottom and make sure it's nice and snug. Good. Now we're going to take a hook and you're going to slide it onto the top of the elastic. Then we're going to open up the slit and pull the hook straight through and then cinch it up nice and tight. There you go. Good job. Now to the second side, same thing. Slide through the elastic, open up the slit in the middle, pull the hook through and pull it nice and tight. Good. Now we're going to take this and we're going to install it onto the bottom of the seat. So first thing you do is cinch it in there nice and good. Tuck in the edges into the trim of the seat. Good. Now we're going to take the hook and we're going to insert it onto the crossbar under the seat. Good. Nice and tight. Now do it for the other side. Same thing, insert on the crossbar of the seat. Make sure it's nice and tight. Perfect. Now we're going to take the chuck and we're going to take them and we're going to tuck them in to the bottom of the seat. And you're going to do it on both sides of the top cover and both sides of the bottom cover. When you're tucking it in, it's important to note that when you tuck in the chuck, you want to make sure that the chuck goes straight into the crease and then turns at 90 degrees. That way, if it tries to pull out, it will resist because it's at 90 degrees and it won't be able to pull out of the seat cover. Good. Make sure it's nice and tight, everything. And we're done with the first seat. Let's now move on to the top armrest cover. So we're going to take this piece. We're going to insert this piece under the armrest and then pull the elastics through and make sure that the strap that pulls on the armrest goes to the slit. Put the elastic band over the top, and then we're going to pull everything on from the back. Take your time and make sure everything goes over smoothly, and then close it, and we're done with that. Now we're going to start with the bottom piece. First, you're going to take your chuck, insert the top slit, insert the bottom slit as we've done before. Repeat for the other side as well. Just nice and straight. Insert chucks now on the top. There's 2. Same thing, insert the top, insert the bottom, and pull it nice and firm. There's 4 chucks total. Make sure those are nice and straight on there. Now you're going to take the chuck and you're going to pull it up. You can see there's a middle hole under the elastic, and you're going to take your hook and you're going to feed it through the hole. And then once you do that, you're going to make sure you pull the elastic nice and tight. It'll keep the hook secure in there. Repeat for the other side. Same thing. Put the hook through the middle hole in the chuck and pull it nice and tight. And we're going to put down the top part of the bench seat, and we're going to make sure we thread those elastic straps through the bottom of the seat. Make sure you get everything nice and tucked in on the front as well. This right here is a zip tie tool. You can use a wire hanger instead. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the hook in the back and you're going to feed it through, kind of almost make a knot with the hook. And you're going to use that to pull it through to the front of the seat. And then you're going to take the hook and insert it into the middle of the chuck. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other side. You're going to tie the hook around our little zip tie tool or wire hanger, whatever you have available. And then you're going to pull that through the seat to the front. And then you're going to hook it into the middle of the chuck. And then make sure that's nice and tight in there. And then now we're going to go to the top of the seat. Same thing as the front. We're going to insert both sides of the elastic into the chuck. And now we're going to do it on the other side. So there's 2 chucks on this piece. Make sure it's all nice and straight. Now we're going to slide it into the top of the seat. Make sure it's all nice on there. And now we're going to go to the bottom cover. So the bottom cover, we're going to take the 2 chucks and we're going to get them on there. Same thing as the process as before. Get both chucks on there, and then on the bottom side of the seat, we're going to have the hooks. Same process. We're going to slide it through, open up the elastic loop, pull the hook through, and then straighten everything. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. And we're showing you the step just to make sure you know step by step how to do everything, even though we've covered this before. So once again, pull the elastic through. Now we're going to insert it into the bottom part of the seat. Make sure the cover is nice and fitted on there. And then now we're going to take the chucks from the top cover, and we're going to insert them through. You're going to push them through so the chucks go 90 degrees. You're going to do it both on the top part of the cover and on the bottom seat cover as well. So it's 4 chucks total. Next, we're on the front of it. We're going to take the hooks and we're going to hook them onto the crossbar on the front of the seat. Let's now go to the back bottom seat cover behind the driver's seat. This piece has 4 chucks total. So we're going to insert the chucks as we've done before. Slide to the top slit, then slide to the bottom slit and make sure everything's nice and neat. This particular piece, once again, has 4 chucks total. So once we do finish those chucks, which will show the entire process, we don't want to leave anything out, then we're going to take our hooks and elastic straps, which we see right here, and insert it through the middle strap, and then we'll go to the middle of the chuck and the middle of the chuck, and same thing in the back, middle of the chuck and middle of the chuck. Now we'll go and do it on the car. So we're going to go ahead and install the hook inside the middle of the chuck, do it for the other side as well, and then we're going to take these straps that we just secured, and we're going to push them through the bottom of the seat. So basically we pull down the seat and we're pushing it through so we can grab it on the back side. We're going to open up the bottom of the seat so we can grab those hooks, install them into the middle of the chuck, and then pull the elastic tight. Now for the other side, we're going to grab that hook and we're going to then slide it through the elastic loop on the side right here. As you can see, we'll open up the loop, pull it through, and now that's through, we're going to insert it into the middle of the chuck. So pull it up a little bit. The elastic, insert into the chuck, and then make sure you pull it nice and tight. Close the seat, and now we'll move on to the passenger side. So we're going to grab that piece, and we're going to put some chucks on it as before. Slide through the top and bottom. Make sure it's nice and neat. This is the same as the other piece in regards where it's 4 chucks. So once we get those chucks nice and on there, you'll see that we have the elastic with the hooks, and we're going to feed it through the middle of the chuck, and feed the other hook through the middle of the chuck. And we're going to do that for the other side. We're going to take the hook through the chuck, then we'll slide it through the elastic and then to the chuck. So right now we're going to go ahead and prep those. So we're going to take the hook and we're going to put it inside the middle of the chuck, pull it nice and tight, do it on the other side as well. Perfect. Now let's go inside the vehicle. You're going to go ahead and take off this cover that protects the Velcro, put down the seat and feed the hooks through as we did before. Open up the bottom of the seat, grab those hooks. We're going to slide it through the elastic loop on the side and then into the center of the chuck. You're then going to pull that elastic loop nice and tight. Good. Now to the other side, we're going to grab that hook and put it through the middle of the chuck, and then once again, pull it nice and tight. So everything's lined up there. Perfect. Now let's move on to the middle seat cover. Grab a D-ring. This is a D-ring right here in the kit, and you're going to insert it through the elastic. Good. And then insert another D-ring on the other side. The hooks are then going to go into the D-ring on each side. Now let's go into the car. So first we're going to take the hook and put it on the D-ring, and we're going to put down the bottom cover and feed through that elastic hook. Pull it through the bottom once again, and you're going to insert it through the D-ring. Perfect. Now put it down, and we're going to align everything now with the Velcro. Tuck it over, get everything aligned. Good, and smooth it out. Now we're going to move into the top piece. So grab that piece, and this has a strap on it. You're going to insert the strap through the buckle. Make sure it's nice and tight, and then you're going to put a chuck on the other side as we've done before, 2 of them. Here you go. Put the elastic loop over the headrest, and we're just going to leave the chucks and everything for now. We'll tuck them in later on. You'll see why. Good. Now we're going to do the passenger side. So grab the cover and you're going to install the 2 chucks. Same thing as always, through the top and through the bottom. Remember there's 2 of these in this piece. And there's also a buckle, which we'll get to in a second. So insert the elastic over the headrest and just leave it for now. Don't tuck any of the chucks in yet. Okay, let's do the middle section. So we're going to add 2 chucks as before. Same process as you're used to. And once you finish the chucks, we're going to put it the middle part of the seat. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get it lined up there. You can leave on the covers for the Velcro for now. We are now then going to put down both sides of the seat. And then we're going to take our elastic strap, that is the buckle, and we're going to feed that strap through the middle section elastic that's on the top. And then we're going to connect it to the other side. So there you go. It runs from the entire back length of the piece. Perfect. Now we're going to put up both seats. And once we have those both up, we're going to take the Velcro covers off and we're going to line up the Velcro. And we're going to do this on both sides. Make sure everything is nice and fit and tucked in very nicely. Perfect. Now the chucks we're going to tuck in for each of those seats. Make sure you grab them and tuck them in. That's for the top and bottom covers. They all have chucks. Make sure all those are very nicely tucked in. And remember, you want to push them all the way through so they become 90 degrees. That way they cannot pull back out. Good. Now we're going to take the headrest piece. So first we're going to pop the little button, pull up the headrest, slide it over. We're going to pull the elastic through and then Velcro it onto the front. There's 2 straps on this. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Pop it up, slip the cover on, put the elastic through both sides, and make sure it's all nice and tidy, and that's it. You're now the proud owner of Coverland seat covers, the best looking, most durable covers that your truck can have. Congratulations.